The tunnels of the undercity never slept. Somewhere, always, a pipe hissed, a vent rattled, a scavenger scraped metal against stone in the dark. But that night, for Jarek, the silence was louder than the noise. He followed the man with the crimson eye through passages he had never dared enter. The stranger walked with confidence, as though the undercity bent itself around his steps. His knife swung loosely in one hand, its edge catching faint glimmers of lamplight. Every so often, the crimson eye clicked, the sound like a clock marking seconds no one else could hear. Jarek's forge still burned faintly inside him. The jagged ring of the wolf's soul scraped against his ribs with every step, a reminder that the fire had not vanished, only settled into him. He clenched his fists when the hunger stirred, whispering again. More. Take more. Stronger. Take again. He wanted to shut it out. But it was in his blood now, in his bones. His silence was its silence. The stranger led him down a collapsed tram station, into a den carved beneath the wreckage. A single lamp burned in the center, casting shadows against walls etched with runes. The air smelled of oil and rust, but there was something else too, the faint, sharp scent of blood. This is where I live, the man said, gesturing at the walls. For now. Jarek's eyes flicked across the etchings. Some were familiar, crude copies of guild wards. Others were stranger, symbols cut into scraps of steel, hung from wires like charms. None glowed. But he could feel them hum faintly, as if the air itself remembered their purpose. The man sat down on a crate and studied him with the crimson eye. You bound a soul today. Tell me how it felt. Jarek hesitated. Like fire. Like I was burning inside. Like it was trying to tear me apart. And did you like it? The question landed like a stone in water. Jarek's chest tightened. He remembered the wolf's hollow eyes, the moment its soul tore free and slammed into him. The agony. The ecstasy. The way his veins had lit with power. Yes, he admitted, his voice low. And no. It almost killed me. The man nodded slowly. Good. You lived. And you feared. Both matter. Fear keeps you from being reckless. Desire keeps you from being weak. Both together might keep you human. Jarek's eyes narrowed. Who are you? The man smiled without warmth. Varric. That will do. His crimson eye ticked once. And you are Jarek. The gangs already whisper it. The guild has written it in ink. The cult is preaching it as prophecy. Do you know what that means? Jarek said nothing. Varric leaned forward, knife gleaming. It means you are already theirs, whether you want to be or not. Unless you learn to forge your own path. The hunger stirred again, delighted at the words. Forge. Feed. Grow. Jarek swallowed. And you'll teach me. I'll show you enough to survive, Varric said. The rest is on you. Tomorrow, we hunt again. You cannot shape the forge by accident. You must learn to bend it, or it bends you. Jarek stared into the lamp's glow. He wanted to argue, to demand why Varric cared, to ask what his price was. But the fire inside him throbbed, hungry, restless. He knew Varric was right. He stayed in the den that night, lying on the cold stone floor, his eyes open. Sleep would not come. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the wolf again, its ember fur flickering, its hollow eyes burning. Every time he breathed, he felt the jagged ring of its soul scraping inside him. When he did drift into half-sleep, he dreamed of fire. Not just beasts, but doors opening one after another, spilling flame into the world. Chains erupted from his body, binding, devouring, forging. He heard voices chanting his name, louder and louder, until it became unbearable. Then silence. A silence colder than death. He woke gasping, sweat running down his face. The hunger laughed softly inside him, pleased. By morning, the whispers had spread. He heard them before he left the den, echoes carried down the tunnels by scavengers, by traders, by children who had seen too much. He killed a beast. He bound its soul. He is a warden. He is a predator. The words chased him like shadows. He kept his hood low as Varric led him out. But eyes followed them everywhere. They passed a market square where merchants hawked scraps of wire and chipped blades. Conversation stopped when Jarek walked by. Some spat, warding themselves. Others whispered prayers. A few stared with open hunger, as though he carried food in his veins. A woman clutching a child hissed at him. Predator. Her voice dripped venom. But her eyes shone with fear. A man in a torn cloak knelt briefly as he passed, muttering, Warden. Jarek pulled his hood lower. He wanted to vanish. But the forge burned too bright inside him. They've already decided what you are, Varric said quietly. Predator. Warden. Anomaly. Crown. None of it matters. Unless you let them make it matter. Jarek clenched his fists. Then what am I? Varric's crimson eye clicked. That's for you to forge. If you survive. They left the square behind. But the whispers followed. Jarek could not shut them out. That night, as they rested near the old tram lines, the hunger whispered again, louder than before. They call you predator. Warden. Crownless. Why deny it? You have tasted fire. You will taste it again. You are not scavenger anymore. You are forge. You are flame. Jarek pressed his forehead to his knees, trying to silence it. But he knew the hunger would never stop. Varric's voice came from the shadows. The hunger never sleeps. That's the curse of the forge. But you can cage it. Shape it. Use it. Or it will use you. Jarek looked up at him, exhausted. And if I can't? Varric smiled without warmth. Then you'll be just another story told in ash. Jarek lay back against the stone, staring at the cracked ceiling. The forge in his chest pulsed, steady and merciless. The whispers of the gangs, the guild, the cult all clung to him. Predator. Warden. Crownless. He closed his eyes. I will not be theirs. The hunger purred, amused. We'll see. And in the dark of the undercity, the echoes carried on.